Did you see? Did you have a message? Okay.
Yes, I did.
Right. At last. Right. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who've just seen this for the first time, again, I'm doing these vlogs to help other physiotherapy aspirants, especially those who's internationally trained and trying to get registered here in the UK, either registering with the HCPC or just or applying for a job already. So today, this will be an interview about one of my mentees who's just successfully landed her job at last after benefiting from the mentoring scheme. So by the way, when I'm doing my videos, I always promote for those who's wanting to have some support or assistance with their endeavors. I was promoting the CSP's mentoring scheme. If you're not aware of this, if you're a CSP member, which is a professional body here in the UK, you have this. One of the features of the membership will be the mentoring scheme, and that's what m- we the my mentees has availed and helped them with their whatever they're trying to do. Like for Needy, it's applying for a new job. Okay, so just an introduction to that. So without further ado, I just want to introduce the newly qualified, newly band 5 physio, um Needy.
Hello.
Hello, Needy. Good evening.
Good evening.
And thank you again for sparing your time for this interview. Yeah, it's just
It's
I just needed to post this soon. Okay. Yeah, so just to introduce to you, Needy was one of my mentees. We started our mentoring scheme. As we said, she availed the mentoring scheme, CSP's mentoring scheme 2 months ago, November, right? I've checked the first meeting we had was 18th of November. Yeah, so tell us about yourself first, Needy. Your
uh,
professional background and things like that.
yeah. So I did my undergrad in India and I graduated in 2021. After which I took some work experience and I worked as an MSK and ortho physiotherapist for nearly a year. And then I came to the UK for my master's degree, which I did from the University of Plymouth. This was in September 2022. And I got done with my master's degree in September 2023.
Okay. So yeah, so and then you you ended your master's degree and you started looking for a job, right?
Yes, yes, I did. I started looking before my course ended, so I think a couple of months before my course ended, but I think I should have started a little sooner.
Yeah, some of the students here, even before they, like a few months before they graduate, they already start applying. And some of them got accepted before they graduate. So yeah, that's the way they do it here.
Mhm.
And yeah, so you were looking for a job after you finish your masters,
Mhm.
and tell us your experiences.
Firstly, it was really, really hard to land an interview because I didn't know that NHS, I would be required to write a supporting statement for every application that I was making. And I kept applying and didn't hear anything until September, which is when I started getting my first interview. And this is only because I reached out to one of my friends who's already working in the NHS, and she kind of helped me modify my SOP a little bit. So I think it's just like a few words here and there that the NHS, it's like the language that NHS uses. in their healthcare system, which international trainees like me weren't aware of. And once I reached out to her and she helped me with it, I started getting interviews. And then I got my first, I did land my first job, but because of some circumstances, it fell through, and I had to then restart the whole process again. And that is when I reached out to you through the CSB mentorship scheme.
Mm. So what made you look for other resources, or like look for support? Because you said you already have your friend helping you.
Yeah, but I think it was more helpful because you are at a slightly higher position than she is, band-wise as well, and experience-wise as well. And I think you told me that you did the apprenticeship as well, so you've got like a lot more
Ah, she
experience.
knew
So
me before you,
no, no, no.
or
Oh, you told me about
ah,
it.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's mainly why I felt like I needed some support from a senior that I could look up to. And while I was preparing for one of my interviews, I saw your YouTube video, and where you would you it was, I think, the questions that were asked in band 5 and band 6 interviews. And while I was preparing for them, I just thought, oh, let me reach out to him on LinkedIn, maybe I would get like a little bit more information. And then that's when you advised me to suggested to go through the CSP mentorship scheme and reach out to you. So yeah, that's what I did, and I'm very glad I did. It was really, really helpful.
Thank you. That's good. Yeah, so let's talk about that. So you found me.
Yeah.
So just to give them an idea. So Nidhi started the mentoring scheme. She was really shall I describe your
Please
experience?
do.
She was really, you can see she's really persevering. She was determined to get the job and do well with the interviews, but she's panicking a lot. Am I
Yeah,
right? So you
I
were
know.
like, it's a little bit worried, and when after each interviews, because you had some interviews before you landed the job, you
Yeah.
you get a little low, things like that. But I can already see you're already doing well. You have the knowledge and skills. It's just the maybe the as I was telling you, it's just the interview approach to the interview that we need to just get used to it. And yeah, I think you've learned from that because of the few interviews you've had. You learn
Mm.
from it, and you actually benefit from doing that repeatedly. So yeah, so let's talk about what you learned from the mentoring, if anything. Apart
Oh,
from your knowledge already, I know you're already qualified, so you know all those things. But what have you learned differently, you think?
um, I think it's just like I said that NHS does a few things differently. And like for example, when we were discussing the recipe cases, and you told me about the problem list, the 5 things that they think about in the problem list. Even though I knew about it, it didn't occur to me every single time I would maybe encounter a recipe case. So it's just small things like that. So maybe, like you said, I did have a lot of knowledge, but I think it just got a little more fine-tuned after getting in touch with you and after practicing constantly with you. So yeah, that was definitely one thing. Secondly, it was just a massive mental support and emotional support for me, because I could reach out to you and I could approach you after every interview and I could tell you that I didn't get the job. And then I would send you a screenshot of the feedback that they've sent me, and then we would have another meeting and then we would discuss it through, and then like just do it over and over and over again. And I think the best part was that I knew that every stupid question of mine would be answered without judgment, because I always had a lot of doubts. And so yeah, so that was the second thing. And I think the biggest part is that it was just a really difficult time for me. and I can't imagine getting through this entire process without your help. Just identifying where I'm lacking, what my strengths are, and then just pinpointing them and bringing them out, and then working more towards them. So relentlessly, meeting after meeting. So I think that was really the best part of the mentorship scheme. So it was just a massive support.
That's nice to hear. Yeah, so as I've said, it's just for me. I'm just doing this because in my experience as well. When I was in your case, I have
Mm,
that frustration of
mm,
um like I don't have anywhere to ask. I actually resorted to mentoring scheme before, but no one was responding, no one was helpful. So I said, when I get into there, I will help people because I know the need. And yeah,
yeah.
just part of my passion as well of
Mm.
because I'm a frustrated um professional who's wanting to do teaching as well as part of my plans, but it didn't work. So this is just part of the things that I resorted to do instead.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm glad it was helpful. So can you tell them any advice now that you're a I've was that I starting band 5 physio now? What will be your advice to all aspirants out there who's still on the process of finding a job or registering? Yeah.
Yeah, I think my advice would be just start applying really early. So maybe if your course is getting over in September, then you could start maybe like 4 or 5 months before that. Because I have a friend who started applying in February, and she got a job in April, and then she could immediately join after her master's was over. So just decide what kind of timeline you want to do. Maybe you want to go home for a month or so. Maybe you want to take a break. Maybe you want to take some gap. So just decide what timeline you want to do, and then just start applying. Secondly, please reach out for help. I've seen this a lot where that people don't reach out, and even if like, or sometimes they just don't have the resources for it. So just make sure you're if you need help, if you feel like you need help, just reach out. And the CSP mentorship scheme is one of the best platforms to do that, and JC is one of the best people to do that with. So please reach out and get help. um, and lastly would be just keep trying. It's going to be extremely frustrating, it's going to be annoying, it's going to be like it's going to feel like one of the hardest things you've ever had to do. Just sitting and writing supporting statements endlessly, and just going for interviews, and then facing rejections. It's like it could be a really difficult journey. Just keep going, and like appreciate, like I told you the other day, it's like when you're going through something so difficult, you forget to appreciate yourself for everything that you've achieved until then, which I often find myself doing. So I have to ask myself to just quiet down a little bit, and then just try to think about all the things that I've done. So just please try to appreciate yourself for everything you've done. Leaving your hometown, coming to a different country, doing a course on your own, having a part-time job, getting a job, settling down is not easy. It's a big deal. It takes a lot of courage to leave your home. So just make sure you're appreciating yourself for that. So I think these would be my top tips for anyone, for any aspiring physiotherapist who is looking to join either in the NHS or maybe is looking to join any private organizations. Just keep going. Don't give up. It's going to be hard. I'm just putting it out there. It's going to be hard, but it's not impossible. You got this.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with you there. I remember myself as well when I was starting, and indeed, this is one of the challenges for us, internationally qualified workers here. So it's a different country. Yeah, as you mentioned, sometimes you're alone without family here, and you're trying to do the challenges of even trying to live here, um, and just manage to get on with the days while applying. Yeah, it can be a bit of a challenge, and um, as I've said, as you've already mentioned, and I agree, is it's just that yes, we have this we have this knowledge and skills already. Some of the applicants are actually well qualified, but it's just the, as you said, just thinking with how it is done here in the UK, and just getting an idea of how things are done, the NHS, the healthcare settings here. So maybe just a little bit of idea about that. So you need to, like, yeah, to get some support if you can find people who's already in there. So that's yeah, that's good tips. Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
very much. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
Hopefully
Thank
hopefully
you so
you'll settle well on your new job, and don't worry, it's still you will have lots of opportunities still to settle down and to adapt to the learning
much.
and this in working, because you'll have preceptorship, you have one-to-one supervisions constantly, just to make you uh really confident of what you're doing, because it can be like rattling a little bit in the first few months,
Mhm.
and it will be rotational.
Mhm.
It's an acute setting, isn't it? It's hospital, so it can be busy, but as I've said, just make use of your supervisions and the preceptorship to
Yeah.
support you, and always, yeah, always seek support with your
Yeah.
supervisors.
One thing that I have learned from this experience.
Hopefully, I'll see you um, already in that high level of status, maybe a speaker in CSP one day.
I absolutely hope so.
Yeah, promote diversity, promote the internationally qualified physios. We have lots to offer the this country, and yeah, it's always good to have um, different perspective of things. So promote that.
I will.
Okay, so thank you for this interview, and yeah, if in case there's any help I can do as well, just contact me. And thank you
Okay.
for all those who listened in this interview. Just to mention again, if you needed support, as we've talked about here, just and if you're a CSP member, just look for the CSP's mentoring scheme and look for my name, and let's maybe link together and help each other. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much again. All the
You.
best.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Bye.